The Secret of the Shiny Blue Stone. My favorite sound in the whole world is the sound of my Turner waking up. It's not a quiet sound. It's a big yawn, followed by a happy shout, and then the thumping of feet on the floor. It means a new day of adventures is starting, and my little cheeks start to buzz with excitement just thinking about it. I sleep in a soft, round bed right next to his, and the first thing I see every morning is his big, smiling face looking down at me. "Pikachu!" he yells, and I yell right back, "Pika!" I jump from my bed onto his, and he wraps me in a big hug that smells like sleepy blankets and pure fun. Sterling, the big brother, is already awake in the other bed. He's much quieter. He's usually looking at a book with pictures of Pokémon habitats or carefully arranging shiny stones he's found. He gives us a small smile. This morning, the sun was pouring through the window like warm honey. While Turner was busy trying to put on 2 different shoes at once, I hopped onto the windowsill to feel the warm glass on my paws. That's when I saw it. Far away, past our yard and deep in the edge of Caspendale Woods, something sparkled. It was a tiny flash, like a fallen star that forgot to go out. My ears twitched, and a curious little hum started in my chest. Turner finally got his shoes on, one red, one blue, and ran over to see what I was looking at. "Ooh, what's that?" he shouted, pointing with a sticky finger. "It's treasure, Pikachu, let's go get it!" He didn't wait for an answer. He just scooped me up and we were running for the stairs. "Wait, where are you going?" Sterling called out, putting his book down. He sounded like he always does when Turner has an idea. A little worried, but also a little interested. "We have to find the treasure!" Turner yelled from the bottom of the stairs. I peeked over his shoulder and saw Sterling sigh. He grabbed his favorite Pokémon, Flygon, from its spot on his desk and hurried to follow us. Outside, the air was fresh and smelled like damp grass and morning flowers. Turner ran across the lawn with me tucked under his arm. I wriggled until he put me down, and I raced ahead of him, my little legs pumping as fast as they could. Sterling and his Flygon were right behind us. Flygon flew low to the ground, its big red-rimmed wings making a soft whoosh, whoosh sound that was much quieter than Turner's stomping feet. We reached the edge of Caspendale Woods. The trees were tall and made dappled shadows on the ground. Sterling stopped at the entrance. "Maybe we should have a plan," he said, looking at the dark spaces between the trees. "My plan is to find the shiny thing," Turner declared, and he charged right in. I scampered after him, my tail held high like a little lightning bolt flag. The woods were full of quiet, wonderful sounds. We could hear the rustle of Pidgeys in the high branches and the distant tap, tap, tap of a Spearow looking for breakfast. My nose twitched, smelling pine needles and rich, dark earth. I stayed close to Turner's feet, and sometimes he'd reach down and give my head a little pat. It made my whole body buzz with happiness. We walked deeper, following the feeling of the sparkle. It was like a little tug in my mind pulling us forward. Soon, we heard a new sound, the gurgle and splash of running water. We had reached Caspendale Creek. It wasn't very wide, but the water moved quickly over smooth, gray stones, and there, on the other side, sitting on a patch of green moss, was the source of the sparkle. It glittered and winked in a beam of sunlight. "There it is!" Turner shouted, getting ready to splash into the water. "Wait, Turner," Sterling said, putting a hand on his shoulder. "The water might be too fast, and the rocks are slippery." He looked around, his eyes scanning everything. That's what Sterling does. He looks and he thinks. I looked and thought too. My thought was that I could probably swim it, but I didn't want Turner to get all wet and cold. That's when we saw the bidoof. It was sitting on a big log that lay mostly on our side of the bank, gnawing away happily. It wasn't a very big log, but it was long. The bidoof looked up at us, its big teeth paused, and then it gave a friendly squeak and scurried away into the bushes. Sterling's face lit up. "The log," he whispered. "It's almost long enough to be a bridge." He turned to his Pokémon. "Flygon, do you think you can help?" Flygon floated forward and nodded, its big eyes gentle. Sterling pointed at the end of the log. "Can you use a very, very soft gust just to nudge it across?" Flygon took a small breath and let out a gentle puff of air. It wasn't a powerful attack, just a soft, swirling breeze that smelled like dragonflies in summer. The wind wrapped around the end of the log and, with a quiet groan, pushed it just enough. The far end of the log settled softly on the other bank of the creek. We had a bridge. Turner cheered, a loud and happy sound that made the leaves tremble. "You're the best, Stir-Fry," he yelled. Sterling looked very pleased. He stepped onto the log first, testing it with his foot. "It's safe," he said, and held out a hand for his brother. Turner grabbed it, and they walked carefully across, one step at a time. I didn't need any help. I zipped across the log in a flash, my claws making tiny clicking sounds on the bark. We had made it. We all knelt down on the soft moss, gathered around the shiny object. It wasn't a diamond or a piece of gold. It was a small piece of dark blue glass, worn smooth and cloudy by the creek's water until all its sharp edges were gone. It fit perfectly in the palm of Turner's hand, and when he held it up, it caught the light and sent a little blue star dancing on Sterling's cheek. It was the most beautiful treasure I had ever seen. A happy little Pikachu fizzed out of me and my cheeks sparked just a little. Turner laughed and held the glass pebble tightly in his fist. "We found it," he said, his voice full of wonder. Sterling smiled. "We found it together." We walked back home as the sun climbed higher in the sky. Flygon flew lazily above us, and I walked right between the two brothers. Turner kept opening his hand to peek at his treasure, and his happiness was a warm glow all around us. Back in their room, Turner found an empty little box. He lined it with a soft tissue and placed the smooth blue glass right in the middle. He put the box on his nightstand right next to my bed. It was his most special treasure, and he had put it right next to me. As evening came and the room grew dark, the moon cast a soft light on the treasure box. I curled up in my bed, tired from our big adventure. Turner was already fast asleep, making little whistling sounds. I could feel the leftover buzz of our exciting day fading into a warm, sleepy hum inside me. The world was quiet and safe, and my Turner was nearby. It was the best way to end the best kind of day. The end.